So the topic of this video came from me just taking all of my consulting calls from last week, plugging them into Claude and saying, what is the number one problem a lot of these people are dealing with when it comes to launching and scaling paid ads? And the most interesting part was it all came down to this, which was addressing limiting beliefs. A lot of people, when they first start spending money on paid advertising, have limiting beliefs that either cause them to not spend enough, not scale fast enough, or in some cases, which was arguably the biggest problem, not speak to the right people because they're scared. And so in this video, what we're going to break down is why your limiting beliefs oftentimes screw you when running paid ads. What are some common limiting beliefs you may be experiencing, and then how to actually go about addressing them step by step. So number one, why do your limiting beliefs screw you? In any situation, I don't care what it is, the only reason you don't break through to the next level is because you don't identify with that person because you have limiting beliefs around how to get there. If I were to tell you to go make 10K next week or go add an extra 100K a month to your business next week, and you had never done that before, you'd have a lot of hurdles keeping you from getting there. Where if I told somebody who makes $5 million a month, add an extra 100K to your business in a week, they go, okay, send an email and they're done. It's a very different mindset because they don't have those blockers in their head. And this is how it works with ads. Is oftentimes with new advertisers, because you've never spent money on advertising before, you don't know what to expect. You don't know what to look for. And you have these ideas around how it works. And the best way to explain this is, I've used this in a ton of videos in the past, everybody exists inside of a silo, whether we believe it or not. We can think we're the most well-traveled person in the world. We still exist in a silo of only the things that we traveled and only the stories we've heard. Meaning any beliefs that we have exist in the silo. Any lessons we've learned exist in the silo. Experiences exist in the silo. And so when we go to run paid ads, in most cases, we're operating inside of what we know, which makes it a lot scarier because paid ads, we don't know what that looks like. That's outside of our silo. And so what you need to be doing when you run paid ads is realize, oh, I do exist in a silo. Let me break out. Let me see where all the money is outside and go and grab it. Whether that's learning from mentors, whether that's getting into different groups, whether that's watching YouTube videos, whether that's paying an agency to run it for you to start. But to a certain extent, you need to learn to break outside of what you know to then expand your silo into a world where, oh, there really is a ton of abundance out there. And this is the core principle of what a limiting belief is you stay trapped in this silo that doesn't allow you to step outside and go, cool, I'm gonna go grab what I want, and then we're good. You know, that's the biggest problem. So what are the common limiting beliefs that we see all the time? Well, number one, especially with paid ads, is my buyers don't click ads. That's about the biggest lie I've ever heard in my entire life. You're telling me that some of the richest people on earth don't use Facebook, don't use Instagram, don't use Google. You're telling me that they wouldn't click an ad if you spoke directly to where they're at, if you made it feel you knew their situation better than they did, they wouldn't click the ad? That's just not true. It's the dumbest limiting belief I've ever seen. Now, just because you won't click an ad doesn't necessarily mean they won't. Ironically enough, I run an ad agency. I don't know if I've ever booked a call from an ad. I'm straight organic. I'll buy stuff from Amazon from an ad. I don't know if I've ever booked a call from an ad. And that's just how it goes. Again, we bring in accredited investors for some of our funds that we work with that have $1 million they're looking to deploy and they came through an ad. So that is just the biggest false belief in the world. The second one is believing that there's not enough of my buyers. So this is fundamentally the scarcity versus abundance mindset problem. And a lot of newer advertisers operate in scarcity. And the way that this manifests is they write an ad that speaks to everybody rather than specifically who they want. So if I'm trying to attract a business owner that does $5 million a year, but I'm scared there's not that many of them, I'm going to pull my messaging out to speak to people that are doing maybe 50K a month. And what this does is because my range is so wide, this guy that at the 5 mil a year goes, oh, I guess this isn't for me. And then nothing ever comes of it. The scarcity mindset kills everything. And yeah, in some cases you may have a small TAM, but I guarantee if you're spending $3,000 a day, you probably haven't even come close. So that is the big thing is the abundance versus scarcity mindset is so flawed. I go back to this silo analogy. The reason you're in a scarcity mindset is because you exist here. You don't think that people would buy from you even exist. So that's the second one is one, your buyers don't click ads, but two, maybe there's not enough of your buyers. Number three, this one I hate, this one I actually had a conversation in the DMs about yesterday, is people will say that you don't know your buyer as well as you think. So many people when they first get started, and this is something I've learned from some of the DMs I've gotten recently, will come up with marketing angles that they want to run because that's how they want to sell their product. And then they don't sell anything. Because guess what? Your buyers don't care. You're not your buyers. In most cases, you're slinging something that may speak to why you got started, but why you got started may be a small subset of the actual market itself. You're in marketing. You need to listen to the market, not think you know better. And this is the biggest problem because the other part that kills me is people let their ego get in the way. So I'll give feedback sometimes and people will give me a ton of pushback. And I'm like, dude, do you want to make more money or do you want to be right? So again, these are like 4 very common limiting beliefs. There's a ton of others, but I guarantee you, if you're just getting started with paid ads, it's probably one of these things. I'd say the last one that I'll throw in here, number 5, is, I don't even know if I'd call this a limiting belief, but they put their focus in the wrong place. This one just sucks overall. Just because you think something's broken doesn't necessarily mean it is. Look at the metrics before anything else. Don't go solving what you think is a show rate problem if you don't even have a show rate problem. So those are like the 5 big things that if I were a newer advertiser, again, I wish I knew earlier, and what I stress to everybody is, again, your buyers do click ads. Don't believe that they don't. Now, in some situations, it may not be the best channel for you. And if you want to figure that out, you can book a call. We'll talk through everything, see if it even makes sense. Sometimes you're half right, but they will click ads. So don't neglect it. It may just not be the most profitable way to run them. Second one is, they're not enough for your buyers. That's just a flat out lie. If you're watching this video, you're probably not even close to having capped out the amount of buyers you can address. And even then, you just have to change the way you write your copy. Number 3, you don't know your buyer. Number 4, don't let your ego get in the way. And number 5, stop putting your focus in the wrong place. Look at the numbers, solve the problems in the correct order, and you will find success. Now, the big thing is, how do you actually address them? This is the most important part of the entire video, and it's the simplest part of the entire video. All you've got to do is do 2 things. Get around others who have solved that problem. That's the first one. If you just get around people who've already solved the problem you're dealing with, it's like magic. You go, holy shit, it's possible. So that's the first one. And then the second one is, if you can't do that, or if you don't want to do that, just test. Because if you systematically test and you treat your business like a science experiment where you have a hypothesis, you test it. If it goes good, then you come up with another hypothesis, you test again. If it's bad, circle back, new hypothesis, test again, see if it's good. If you just continue this cycle over and over and over, solving for the constraint, you'll eventually realize, oh, it does work for me. I just was doing the wrong things. So like I said, this is a little more of a complicated, this video has a lot more nuance, but these are some of the most common limiting beliefs that we do see when speaking with consulting clients. Like I said, if you want to see what running ads even makes sense for you, there's a link below. You can book a call, speak to myself or the member of the team. I hope this helps in some way, guys. Like I said, a little bit different of a video, but if you want more content like this, drop it below in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Hope this was helpful. I will see you in the next one.